you would, all stand for the pledge of allegiance. Eric, if you would, please.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, Jared, may I have a roll call, please?
And we're just going to do a roll call for the current seated members.
Current seated members, not the newly elected, not George at this point.
Mr. Adams. Here. Dr. McCombie.
Here.
Mr. Steve.
Here.
Mr. Schroeder.
Here. Okay. Good evening, everyone. Thank you all for coming. There is no board president message and there is no public comment. At this point in time, I would entertain a motion to select a temporary president to run the rest of the meeting. And traditionally, we ask our solicitor to do that. So may I have a motion? Do I have a second?
I'll second.
All those in favor of appointing Tom Breath as the temporary president, please say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, motion carries. Tom, it's up to you.
Thank you very much. As I think all of you are aware, but for those that are watching and aren't aware, that every December, first week of December, school districts have to have reorganizational meetings. So this board is doing a reorganizational meeting. At that reorganizational meeting, they'll swear in some new board members if they're new board members. Existing board members are welcome to reaffirm their oath. It's like taking your marital vows again. You can step undo that if you'd like. And I think we have Mrs. Markle's gonna administer the oath. Terrific. So have these certificates of election been submitted?
No, I'm gonna collect them now.
Great.
Did I not send you a reminder?
Oh, yes, you did.
But I do have copies though, so.
Oh, don't bail them out.
You know, you copy until you get me your real one, so. Here you go. This time you got give it.
Anyone's chair.
Oh, I take all the. And you
Yeah.
fill in.
Oh, thanks for bailing anybody out for that.
Okay.
This is it for you.
Is that your reminder to get your certificate?
Okay, so I have,
Okay, would you like to administer the oath, the four member?
okay. Please stand. And anybody else, as he said, who wants to reaffirm, otherwise raise your right hand and repeat after me. I state your name. Having been appointed to the office of school director for the Indiana Area School District.
Having been appointed to the office of school
This is like police account.
County of Indiana.
Did you see that?
And Commonwealth of Pennsylvania. Do solemnly swear. That I will support, obey, and defend the Constitution of the United States.
That I will support, obey, and defend the Constitution of the United States.
Of this Commonwealth.
Of this Commonwealth.
And I will discharge the duties of my office with fidelity.
And I will discharge my duties of my office with fidelity.
Congratulations.
Good job.
All right, may we have a roll call, please?
Mr. Adams. Here. Eric Purchase.
Here.
Julia Tamarki Cooper.
Present.
Mr. Harley.
Here.
Dr. McCombie.
Still here.
Mr. Steve.
Here.
Mr. Schroeder.
Here.
Mrs. Thomas.
Here. You guys will sign those. Things and then we can order this one. You're on it.
So we need to fill a vacancy?
Yes.
Okay, we've got a 2-year vacancy that we need to fill. So I'll open the floor for nominations.
I move that the board appoints Joshua Moscatello to fill the vacancy created by Mr. Brochus. His resignation until the first Monday of December 2027.
Second.
Will hear any other nominations to fill the 2-year term? Hearing none, can I have a roll call on Mr. Moscatello?
Mr. Adams.
Yes.
Eric Brochus.
Yes.
Julia Tamarki Kukrow,
Aye.
Mr. Harley.
Yes.
Dr. McCombie,
Yes.
Mr. Steve,
Yes.
Mr. Schroed,
Yes.
Mrs. Thomas.
Yes.
Motion passes 8-0.
Terrific. Can we administer the oath to Mr. Muscatello, please? Mr. Muscatello.
papers.
I don't need a paper.
I will read it to him slow. I state your name,
I, Joshua Muscatello,
having been appointed to the office of school director for the Indiana Area School District,
having been appointed to the office of school director for the Indiana Area School District,
County of Indiana,
County of Indiana,
and Commonwealth of Pennsylvania,
and Commonwealth of Pennsylvania,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support, obey, and defend
that I will support, obey, and defend
the Constitution of the United States
the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of this Commonwealth,
and the Constitution of this Commonwealth,
and that I will discharge the duties of my office with fidelity.
and I will discharge the duties of my office with fidelity.
Congratulations.
She didn't ask if anyone else wanted to do it again.
Should we redo that?
No.
And fill out, sign the
Sure.
paper there, and I can notarize.
Okay, we're gonna do one last roll call.
Mr. Adams. Here. Eric Brochus.
Here.
Julia Tamarki Kukrow. Mr. Harley. Dr. McCombie,
Here.
Mr. Muscatello,
Here.
Mr. Steve,
Here.
Mr. Schroed,
Here.
Mrs. Thomas.
Okay, the next order of business is nominations for board president. I will open the floor for nominations. Do I hear any
I
nominations?
hereby nominate Walter Schurz for the office of the president of the Indiana Area School Board of Directors to serve until the first Monday of December 2026 or until a successor is elected.
Do I hear any other nominations?
I nominate Sally McCombie for the office of president.
Hearing any other nominations? Hearing none, I'll close the floor for nominations. We'll do a roll call vote, folks. When your name's called, if you could just signify the individual that you're casting a vote for. Yes, sir.
Can I, before we do that, I would like to make a motion that we allow each candidate to have like 5 time minutes to kind of attest to us like what we can expect out of them in the president's role going forward, along with opening the floor up to questions from us.
I'll second that.
Thanks.
We have a motion on the floor to allow the individuals up to 5 minutes to make statements regarding their desire to be the board president and to field questions. Any
Ladies before
discussion?
gentlemen.
Before we do it, any discussion on that motion? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, do we want to do a coin flip or does somebody want to?
I have a coin to flip. Would you want to go first?
No. Yep.
Yeah,
Ladies
well, I
before-
don't either.
Who's nominated?
I brought a JFK to flip. Who can flip a coin?
Well,
The attorney has to flip the coin.
What was that?
Get it back.
Okay.
Oh, well, I better get it back. I figured this would happen. And I'm not a fortune teller. Okay. I say we give it to one of the administration to
There we
put,
go.
no
That's it.
offense.
I think Denise should do it.
No. Here,
Just wanna
pass
make
this
sure it's-
over.
you just want to make sure you get it
Hey,
back.
make sure there's a heads and tails on that before you.
That's what I said.
Oh, Jared.
There's
Yeah.
There's a lot of burden on your shoulders.
Okay.
He's the money.
You call it.
Okay, I'll call heads.
Tails.
Oh, boy. Okay, I go first, that means.
Go first.
Okay.
Can I keep this or do you want it back?
That's my JFK.
I will give you notices of 3 minutes, 4 minutes, and then 30 seconds.
Okay, don't start timing until I start talking.
I will.
Okay,
Before you start, I'm
oh,
sorry.
sure.
Yeah, is it 5 minutes for the presentation and then questions will come after?
Oh,
that?
that's a good
I
question.
think it's a total of 5 minutes was my understanding, so it's at the discretion of the individual speaking, how much time they leave for
Yes.
questions.
Okay,
What's that?
Okay, so we do 5 minutes of the presentation maximum and then questions don't count.
No, I think the 5 minutes is included within the question, so it's up to the speaker to stop and say, are there questions?
Okay.
Because you have 5 minutes.
Do you mind if I sit up here so I can?
I don't think that was the motion.
No, I was hoping that we could ask questions afterwards because if we
That's
don't.
fine. That's
Is that
fine.
Okay.
Listen, you guys run the show.
Okay.
So you have 5
See
minutes.
that, Clark?
okay, here I go. Ready?
Sally,
Okay.
there's another seat there that's a little higher maybe if you
Okay, that's true.
prefer.
Tripped you up a little bit there.
All right.
And now I can see you.
Okay, my remarks will be brief because I would like to hear your questions and expectations. So why am I running for president again? Change is good, plus I feel my past experiences and education make me a good candidate. All of you know that I speak my mind and I am extremely transparent. I like progress and decisions to be made in open meetings. Don't let my positive attitude make you think that I don't understand the seriousness of our plight financially. First, my past experience. While I was on the neighboring school board for 12 years, we negotiated multiple teacher contracts. I chose not to be on the negotiating team because I had just left that union not too many years before that. I was in APSCUF, which is a teachers union, and my sister was a teacher in the district. Not that I couldn't have served, but I was more concerned about what the public would perceive with me serving on the negotiating team. I will not say that I will never raise taxes, but I will not say that I will always raise taxes. I wait to see what at the budget time. I study it. I listen to the administration. I listen to my fellow board members. And after that, I make a decision. There's no magic. Now, let me address ideas for change. I think our board meetings could be more efficiently run, sticking to the agenda items. I don't feel that committee reports are necessary. Those often lead to discussing future agenda items, and we should be sticking to the agenda at hand. In light of the fact that both our superintendent and our assistant superintendent give timely reports, I don't think a president's message is necessary. A big item that I would like to see improvement is transparency. And I don't mean transparency of our administration. I mean transparency among our board members. Trust is really important in decision-making, and I would really work to improve that. In closing, I need to reinforce that my somewhat comedic personality should not be confused with my intellect, my knowledge, and my experiences. I just am not a doom and gloom woman. Positivity has served me well. For the reasons I mentioned, I would appreciate your support. Questions?
Just look at me.
Well, this was your idea.
Okay. So tell me, so looking at two things here, Sally, tell me the top two strengths you bring to the role and one weakness.
In one weakness?
One weakness.
Okay, the top two strengths I think are definitely, like I stated, my experiences and my positivity. I think that my weakness would be that I take things to heart and I can be sensitive.
Okay. What about, so as you kind of look at, I know you mentioned a couple things right now with the way the board, so you do a little bit with take maybe the Met board president message, shrink it a little bit. What are some other things that you would do differently than what you've seen right now?
I can't say that I do anything much more differently. I think my biggest concern and my biggest frustration is the fact that I feel that there's not transparency with members, that they, sometimes I like the talk and the discussion to happen at this table when the camera's rolling, unless it's executive session. So, I think that's probably my biggest change that I would do my best to make. And I can't say that I would be successful, but I sure as heck would try.
What about, okay, so let me throw something else at you. So we're about ready to embark on like a lot of negotiations here, right?
Yes.
With different contracts that I think are really imperative, right? So we've seen budget deficits that we're running. We know that we have to make some changes as well. So you as the president are in charge of selecting the people for the personnel negotiations committee.
That's right.
What, out of the table, the people here,
Mhm.
what three people do you select and why?
Well, I just happened to have something prepared for that because I did give this lots of thought last night.
Okay.
And I hadn't given it much thought before, other than the fact that I had participated in contact negotiations, not as a team. But I would think that this would be a great discussion for all of us to make, not people who would we put on, but what characteristics would we want to see in people on that negotiating committee. And so think about that, okay? I'm not asking you to say now, but think about what you would want those people to be like. And my top qualities, and I did list my top qualities, would be that they had some past and present experiences. What were their past and present experiences? I would really look to people who have had some work in the world of finance, and those who have had to make tough employee decisions. And I also think about people who are at this board that are really involved in multiple levels in our community. Okay, so they don't just talk to retired people or parents. They talk to people of all ages, and they interact with people because of the different organizations they're in, and they sort of have a pulse on the community, children as well as up to senior citizens. I would want someone that has shown appreciation for our teachers. Okay, has shown at this table that they truly appreciate our teachers. As I'm saying these things, I'm thinking about myself, and hopefully all of you are thinking about yourself. Also, when push comes to shove for the members, I would want them to put children first. Okay, that's what everyone should be doing. So, equally important is personality. Okay, so are they individual thinkers and plus team players? Okay, I want people to be that way on that board. Also, personality means that they're going to get along with each other, because the last thing we need is to have a team that is not getting along with each other. To show respect for the other side, and also respect each other's ideas and each other's knowledge that they bring to the table. Oh, okay.
Would you, so looking at that,
Yes.
so I sense you're not going to give me names.
Oh, I will.
Oh, will you?
Yeah.
Okay. So
I could lose votes. Okay, so keep in mind what I said, why I wasn't on the team at purchase side. That was my personal choice, okay? And there's two reasons basically why. So keeping that in mind, I thought about this so long, and I did. I was up last night even thinking about all of you, seriously, and who would be the best one. And I don't know who served on the teams in the past, but it doesn't matter, because this is a decision that I would make if I became president. So when I think about those characteristics, I would ask Josh to be on if he was willing to. And you might not want to. We can't force you to do this. I would ask you, Chris. And my last person, drum roll please, I would ask Tom. Okay, so those are the three people that I would ask.
Okay.
And not that I like them any more than anybody else, but those are the qualities that I feel that they sort of showed me as time went on. Any other questions?
So with the committees, you want to eliminate the committee reports. Do you have a plan or suggestion of how committees should be ran?
No, I don't think there's any problem with how the committees are being run right now. I have no problem with that at all. You know why I said why the committee reports. Just trying to not get down in the weeds of a future meeting.
So
Stick
the
to
business
agenda.
meeting, you don't want a committee report out on the business meeting. That's what you're saying?
Please?
On the business meeting, you don't want the committee to report out. Is that what you're saying?
On
our general board meeting?
on our general board
Okay.
meeting, that's exactly right.
Okay.
Yeah, because I think we should all, if we can't attend the meetings, the committee meetings, we should all watch them. I do that, but watch them on.
Same here.
Yeah.
But one of the things you harped on was the clarity and transparency. And one of the problems with committees, and even with, here we got 6 people, and 3 of them are ours, watching even this meeting. So on the committee meetings, at least when the chairman gives a report on what happened at that committee meeting, she is not making motions. He's simply reporting what happened in the last committee meeting. And I could certainly see that could be a little streamlined, or one of the administrators could give that report if you feel that. But I think that there's certainly a place in the business meeting for that knowledge. And so it's like we're talking about the solar panels. Okay, we've been talking about them for 6 months, okay, to not talk about them and then bring a motion to the board. And Josh didn't make those meetings.
Right.
Okay, so,
And I wasn't there, but I watched it.
yeah, but so it seems like that's part of the transparency of past board is practice, is that we do a quick summary of what went on in that meeting. And there is some discussion, there's some questions, some clarifications. I can't get a meeting in without Jared saying something.
Okay, now just remember, this would be up for discussion, Tom. I'm not gonna be a tyrant and say, no, Tom, that you're not allowed to report. And if everybody else says, we agree with Tom, yeah, we think we need to do this. I agree 100%.
But if
I think we're transparent. As far as what we do on this school board in public sessions, we're very transparent.
we are.
We
I
are very
think we've done a
transparent, and
very
that's
good
not
job
the
of that.
transparency I'm discussing, okay? Yeah, so, I'm not gonna be debating everyone on this. This would be a topic of discussion.
I have one more. Can you share your concerns with transparency if you don't mind?
I think I have shared those in the past.
I don't
okay.
think everyone knows. I know.
I think everybody knows,
Oh, okay.
but I can share it. There's been times that it's very defeating if I put a lot of work into something and a lot of thought, and the decision has already been made before we come to the board. Okay, so I've never called anyone and said, hey, how are you going to vote? Hey, how are you going to vote? I've never done that. Because I learned my lesson when I was on the other school board. I learned my lesson. It's just not a good way to operate. Is it legal? Yes, it's 100% legal. But I just feel that in my case, I have lost some trust in what goes on before the board meetings, and trust is extremely important.
Any other questions? Okay, thank you very much.
It's easy.
Okay, we'll pass those down. So I have a copy of my remarks that I can pass out to the board members for their reference. As we reorganize for the year ahead, I want to take a moment to reflect on the work we've accomplished together since I became board president, and to look forward to the challenges and opportunities ahead. Serving in this role has been truly a privilege. We are living in unprecedented times that were unimaginable just 10 years ago. As board president, I have striven to provide a steady, open, and stable leadership. As we face the critical issues ahead, it will take that same leadership to guide us through what promises to be a demanding few years. Among those challenges, resolving our looming budget crisis, charter cyber school reform, negotiating an upcoming teacher contract, navigating uncertain state and federal funding streams, addressing AI, and ensuring a strong, stable administration. In the financial world, past performance is often considered the best indicator for future actions. I am proud to say that our board has demonstrated solid leadership and ongoing commitment to responsible stewardship will continue to be a guiding force. We strengthened the leadership of the district. First and foremost, we hired two outstanding superintendents, Mike Vukovich and Rob Heinrich, and they have built an outstanding, strong, vibrant central office staff. Rob Heinrich's vision, energy, and expertise are guiding our district confidently into the 21st century. Safety and security. The safety and security of our most precious community members, our students, has always been a priority. Since becoming board president, we have implemented several key initiatives to ensure that safety remains paramount. These include engaging a renowned school safety consultant, increasing our armed security officers to provide coverage for each of our buildings, and expanding our partnership with the Indiana Borough Police Department. These efforts reflect our commitment to provide a safe learning environment for every student and staff member. Fiscal responsibility. We have also remained steadfast in our commitment to fiscal responsibility. For 6 consecutive years, we avoided raising taxes. When the fund balance was strong, we asked an important question: just because we could raise taxes, should we? I'm proud to say we made the responsible choice, ensuring that our resources were wisely used. But when tax increases were necessary to move the district forward, we kept them below the state mandated cap. At times, this meant I voted against my personal preference, but always in favor of what was best for our students, our district, and long-term future. One of the most persistent financial challenges we have faced and will continue to face is the growing negative impact of cyber charter schools on both our students and budget. The state mandated payment structures continue to drain our resources. While the Commonwealth's legislature and governor have made some progress, relief provided historically fallen far short of what the school needs. Recognizing we could not wait for Harrisburg to fix the problem, I initiated the concept of pursuing legal action against the charter cyber system. I first presented the idea to the administration and the solicitor to assess its viability before bringing it to the full board. I am pleased to report that this effort is now gaining significant momentum. Of course, no reflection on recent years could be complete without acknowledging the enormous challenges of COVID. Together, we navigated uncharted waters. We kept students in the classroom, developed comprehensive district safety plan, created more inclusive procedures for board participation and graduation. We maintained order and decorum in heated public meetings, and we ensured board members had meaningful input in our response, including the creation of synchronized learning. These were tough decisions, but we met them with steadiness and purpose. Our success has always been a team effort. One of the hallmarks of my leadership has been ensuring that all board members are actively engaged and that every voice is heard. Through our committee system and during the full board meetings, I have worked to involve each member in critical decisions because collaboration and shared input has been vital to our past success and will remain pivotal for our future success.
Mr. Schroth, you're just about 5 minutes, a little under, if you could just wrap up that.
Okay.
Thank you.
Basically, the rest of it talks about Horace Mann and community support and building that trust in the community and the rebuilding of Eisenhower. But as we look forward to 2026, I'm excited about continuing the progress we've made. We built a strong foundation, but we know the road ahead will present new challenges. Together, we'll face them head on with that same steady, open, and stable leadership that has defined our past work and will define our future successes. Thank you.
Any questions?
Okay, Walter, same questions for you. Your top 2 weaknesses, tell me or top 2 strengths, and what's your top
I
weakness?
was going to say now that is it weaknesses or strengths? Okay. So I think my top 2 strengths are number one, my experience at the governance level, at the corporate governance level, which is different than experience in the classroom or preparing students for that classroom. And I laid that case out pretty well this evening. I think the second thing is I have the right demeanor. Mr. Vukovich one time said to me, nothing ever phases you. The morning he called about the Eisenhower fire, I started asking questions. It comes in part from my aviation background about never losing your cool. And I think you can have noticed that for the most part, I maintain that proper professional demeanor while I'm running the meetings and guiding this board. As far as the weakness goes, I think the one that I would like to point out is that, like a lot of us on this board, we have type A personalities. And a type A personality can be a blessing, and sometimes it can be a curse. And so sometimes I guess I would say my weakness, Chris, is that my type A personality sometimes gets in my way.
Okay. Sometimes when you're leading a team and you've done it for a while, it's hard to really assess like where you need to go and, as a next step as a leader, right? So when you look at moving us forward in the year 2026, what are some of the changes or improvements that you would look to make for this board?
The improvements, you know, there's always room to make improvements and to make changes. Do we need to maybe adjust the committee system? Possibly. Okay. I kind of agree a little bit with Sally in that perhaps we could shorten the committee reports during the business meeting. That doesn't mean that we don't transfer or talk about all of the information that's in that report. But sometimes there are times when I believe it could be expedited. You know, the only, I guess if I'm looking for improvement, the one thing that I would want to see, and it's maybe not so much an improvement on the board as we make great strides in our student success. And that is the one thing that I would want to see constantly being driven is the success of our students and getting everyone to read and write on grade level and do their math and you know, continue that that onward and upward.
Okay. Last question I have. So you get to pick 3 people for the personnel committee, right? The personnel negotiation committee. So when you step back and look at the board and the complexion that everyone that we are, who are you going to pick and why?
Okay, so let me lay a little bit of background before I answer it, and I will pick you 3 names. Okay. So essentially there are 2 or 3 different ways that we can handle the negotiations. One of the ways that we've handled it in the past was that the board collectively would meet with the administration, primarily the superintendent, the business manager, and our solicitor, and then give them guidance, give them platforms or floors and ceilings in the negotiation, and allow them to basically conduct that as professionals, that level of negotiation. Okay, with them coming back and forth with the board to seek input as those negotiations evolve. So that is certainly one way that we've done it in the past. The second way is what you're suggesting, Chris, is that we provide a negotiating team and then have the board members effectively do the negotiating with the support of the administration, Jared with the numbers, Rob with the academics, and the solicitor with whatever the legal aspects of it. There are some pitfalls there that we need to be careful of. You know, we are blessed with some people that have already negotiated some of these contracts, and so that's certainly helpful to allow the board to do the negotiation. I think is potentially fraught with danger without that experience. There is a third way, which is kind of a combination of this, and that would be to have the professional staff, as I said, start the process, have the board essentially pick 3 or 4 members, depending on its choice, who would then speak for the board during the negotiations. And their role then would, particularly when you get down towards the end of the negotiations, there's a lot of fur flying back and forth. And as part of that negotiations, I believe you would want to have somebody from the board close at hand, so that as the various options are explored by the administration, they could be immediately vetted by this group of board members who would have the pulse of the board. So there's, like I said, there's about 3 different ways that you can, I mean, there's a 4th way where you go out and you actually hire a labor negotiator, but I don't really recommend that. But those are the options that we have.
So who are your three next?
Okay. Number one, you. Number
You're
two,
not.
Josh. And number three, Julia. And the reason for Julia is because she chairs the Audit and Finance Committee. And, you know, let's be real honest, the negotiation is ultimately going to come down to dollars and cents. Okay. And, you know, I think that one of the things that, you know, we're going to have to be really, you know, cognizant of is the financial situation that we're in and how that may be impacted by that negotiation. So does that answer your question,
Yeah.
Chris?
I appreciate that.
Okay. Anybody else?
I think you kind of already answered what was your take on the committee structure, if you were to do anything different. I think you kind of already.
So let me talk just a little bit about the committee structure. Okay. I know Rob has suggested an idea that maybe we could down to 2 nights. Okay. And, you know, we've done a terrific job working the capital projects list down. We also just completed a major renovation. Both of those items take a lot of time. I sense that the tempo right now for buildings and grounds may not be as hectic as it was when we were dealing with Eisenhower, okay, and when we were dealing with some of these more complex capital projects.
Hectic with Tom?
Okay, well,
I was very cool.
Julia, now, don't get me too far off track. Okay. I know that we all recognize that Ben Franklin and possibly some work needs to be done at the high school. Okay. If we were to consider one of those projects, having done this on a number of occasions, I don't see how we could eliminate that third Monday of the month dealing with a major project. First of all, you're going to have to determine which building, okay? And then you're going to have to go through the program design so that you can figure out what you actually want that renovation to accomplish. And then go ahead with engaging in some of the other design factors. If you have one meeting a month and we only do it for 10 months out of the year or 9 months, I can chew up 9 meetings in a heartbeat, just getting to the point where we're making the decision about which building we do. Okay. My point is, Quintina, that it depends on the level of activity that the board chooses to engage itself. We spend a lot of time and a lot of hard work, and that hard work has been, I think, reflected in our successes. Okay. If we're to make some other major changes like that, it's going to require that same level of work. The other thing is, as we get into the springtime, we always have at least one other budget meeting, and sometimes it's been 2 and 3 extra meetings because of the budget. I suspect that with the issues we're going to have with the budget this year, that we're going to have some extra meetings in that April, May, June timeframe. I don't know what they are. That's what, you know, Jared and Julia and the committee and the board will have to decide. So I think there are some times when we're going to have to do that. So that's kind of where I am. What my suggestion on the committee system is going to be that we leave the formal third Wednesday on the calendar, but we not necessarily fill that and allow the workload to dictate whether we have that meeting or not. Okay. You know, in my recovery, I spent several weeks at home and I was kind of liking that. So I appreciate it, but I also understand that we have have some things that we may want to consider and that may upset that and increase our tempo. Okay. Anybody else?
Okay, lastly, I just want to make it around it so all the talking points are out. So do you think that we have a transparency issue amongst the board? If so, what would be done differently for 2026?
Well, first of all, I think that this board has been as transparent as it can be, particularly with the committee system that we have, even modified as we did last year, and the boards. I'm not certain I understand what Sally's concern is. If there is an issue of discussing certain board projects, decisions, whatever, between two board members, I personally don't see anything wrong with that. It isn't illegal, it isn't immoral, and it isn't unethical. Okay, I think we should be able to have those conversations on the side. And so I don't see that there's a transparency issue. So I wouldn't change anything.
That's all my questions. I'm done.
Well, I think what was trying to be appointed, Walter, is you'll call people for their vote, seeing if they will vote in a way that you want. 7 other people in this board have been called by you. I've never been called. But I mean, so why there's division on the board is you have your people you call, make sure you have your votes, or you'll go outside that little realm. I've never been called once by you for any vote.
Well, if you'd like to hear from me more often, Doug, I would certainly be glad to do that.
I mean, I probably wouldn't answer, but I'm just saying. I'm just saying that's what the transparency is. I mean, you go and get your talking outside of the board meetings and numerous times.
So let me talk about that, Doug. Okay. So one of the things that, when you sit in this chair, from my perspective, there are times when it's important that the board make a decision and move forward. And so one of the reasons that I do sometimes call around to ask people their thoughts and their opinions on it is if there's not going to be sufficient support to get it done, we've got to figure out why. Okay, is it because the administration didn't give us the right information? Is it because the board wants more discussion? Is it, I look at my role as trying to continually move the board forward and move the district forward. A good example of that was the last 2 years. I came into this board all set not to raise the taxes. But in both years, I voted to raise the taxes because I understood that it was the right thing to do. That went against my personal grain to do that. But that's part of the sacrifice. That's part of what it is to lead the board, is to give of yourself for the betterment of the district. And I did that. And that's why I do that. Anybody else?
Okay, hearing no more questions. Everyone understands how the roll call vote's going to occur?
No,
Okay, well, your name's called. You can signify the individual you're casting your vote for by stating their name. And it takes 5. You only have 2, so there's 9 board members present. So absent or abstention, I think we should get 5 tonight. Can we have a roll call vote?
Mr. Adams,
Sally.
Eric Brochus,
Sally.
Julia Tamarki Kukrow,
Walter.
Mr. Harley,
Walter,
Dr. McCombie,
Sally.
Mr. Muscatello,
Sally,
Mr. Steve,
Sally.
Mr. Schroth,
Walter.
Mrs. Thomas.
Walter.
Okay. 5-4. Mr. McCombie, Congratulations. I have one final business, is the, acting president, and that is, to open the floor for nominations for position of vice president.
I nominate Tina Thomas.
Do I hear any other nominations?
I'd like to nominate Josh Muscatello.
Second.
Any other nominations? Hearing none. Do I hear a motion to hear from those individuals, or are we ready to vote? Okay, same process. Could I have a roll call, please?
Eric Brochus,
Muscatello.
Julia Tamarki Kugro,
Tina.
Mr. Harley,
Tina.
Dr. McCombie,
Joshua.
Mr. Muscatello,
Josh, myself.
Mr. Steve,
Josh.
Mr. Schroed,
Quintina.
Mrs. Thomas,
Tina.
Mr. Adams.
Quintina.
Mrs. Thomas, thank you. Congratulations, 5-4 vote.
Thank you. Congratulations, Quintina.
We have to be buddies.
We
And
can do that.
I hope so.
with
I
the,
hope so.
election of the vice president, I will return the chair to the president. I need to take a minute and switch seats.
See ya.
It was nice knowing
Don't
you.
forget your coin.
Oh.
Unless it's just a tip for having to sit next to you in the last 4 months.
We need more than
You
JFK.
know what? Oh, forget about it. That's okay, I got it.
Here, Doug.
No. Sally, does this fit me?
It doesn't match your outfit.
Bought by Jared.
So. I'll start with this one.
This one.
Okay, next one right here.
Oh, yeah, we're gonna give. Yes, ma'am.
Okay, before we begin this, I'm going to really work hard to meet the expectations of those who voted for me. And I'm going to work really hard to earn trust of those who did not vote for me.
I would hope that there's more board respect in the meetings. I know there've been some problems in the past and you've gotten very upset. And I would hope that we can keep that to a minimum because we've got a lot of work to do. This isn't going to be easy and there's going to be a lot of stressful days. And I think that we have to understand that we work at different paces. You often want to expedite, you often ask a lot of questions. I'm not saying it's right or wrong, but sometimes you get a little bit critical of people who aren't necessarily agreeing with you. And I would hope in this position that you see that you are representing the whole board. And, I'm happy you've been elected. I wish you the very best. But this isn't an easy job. I don't think it's an easy job.
Duly noted.
Thank you.
Okay, so let's begin with, I think I just go with, continue with this agenda then, 5.1.
5.1, yes, ma'am.
Okay. Let's talk about the regular board meeting dates that are in front of us.
Yeah, we have created a calendar based on what we've traditionally done. So the meeting dates in front of you for the regular board meetings are following the same pattern of the second Monday being our regular voting meeting. The fourth Monday of every month would be our special board meeting, if necessary. And we typically have those unless we, get an opportunity to cancel one. So that's what those dates represent. So
I'd like to move that we accept 5.1 and 5.2 as written. If we find problems next week or two, we can come back and revisit this.
Second.
Any discussion?
Yeah, I'd still, I mean, November that, and that hasn't been last year, this year, but previously they used to go only one meeting in November, which we still have it the third Monday of the month, because that second one's always right around Veterans Day. Like this year was the same time as parent conferences. And I think we have to look at, I think going from November 9th the whole way to December, that might be the only month that we need to go with that third.
16th.
It'd be the 16th, and you have, I mean, we've done, it's been done previously for several years in the district. I don't know why it got changed here the last 2 years.
I don't know. So you like
Yeah.
the friendly amendment
I
to the
think so.
16th?
If that's okay with those that made the motion.
So.
Yeah, again, you know, we can do this at our leisure, but it's this.
Okay. Any other input? I think that's
So,
good.
what do you say?
Yeah,
Do
it's a
the
logical
16th
point.
and not the 9th, since there's only
Veterans
one
Day.
meeting in November, keep it away from
Yeah.
like Veterans Day, and like this year, there's been the last couple of years, there's conflicts with parent
Say
conferences.
do the November 16th.
Yeah, instead of the 9th.
Yeah. That's true. That's a nicer bridge too between the 2 months.
Unfortunately, it's the first day in West Virginia, so it won't be.
It's a what day?
First day.
First day
in
of
West
hunting.
Virginia.
Oh,
Okay. All those in favor with that change, the amendment, say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? That carries. Okay, so we passed 5-1 and 5-2. Let's go on to the discussion on the committee organization and dates. And we need to appoint a PSBA representative. And I will say, I don't mind doing it, but certainly if someone wants to do it, go for it.
I nominate you.
Thank
I
you.
second that.
Okay, thank you.
As quickly as possible before somebody else gets something.
Any other nominations? All those.
Only with the caveat
Uh-oh.
that you insist more strongly on not always having that conference constantly in the eastern part of the state.
We've done that.
Do it again.
I will, and Tom has worked on that as well. But
Unsuccessful.
Quintina already told us that next year it's still going to be out there, so they haven't listened to us. And I emailed numerous times.
Well,
It's just so unfair.
Some of the east is at a resort up in Pocono. I mean, it's you might as well put it in Wilkes-Barre and.
Yeah, there was,
And it's a dangerous trip out there too as well.
they used to have it in Hershey. There's some sort of
Oh, yeah.
conflict.
I went
where
to
they-
them in
where
Hershey.
They burned the bridges or something. So that's why
Really?
it's out.
What's wrong?
I don't know what happened.
That's
okay,
interesting.
So that's why
Quentin,
it's
I think
out.
they melted the bridges.
Yeah, that's too sad
Sure.
because that was a nice place that they had at the
Yeah.
Hershey Lodge.
I
Yeah.
mean, it's not bad if you go out to the Poconos once, but then come to the western part of the state.
Yeah, let's
Exactly,
go
they
to
should-
Erie.
yeah.
I mean,
Yeah, we might as well go to Erie for God's sake.
yeah.
Okay.
Back
Yes,
some
I
of those
will.
people
And in fact, I will say about this was actually a discussion of the board. And the important thing is that we have 3 delegates and we don't even get to, Quintina, luckily she did attend. We had 1, but it's so hard to get 3 people out there.
But it's
It's just
also,
not-
it's also a tremendous burden on these rural districts. to
Oh, my
send 3
heavens,
people.
yes.
I mean, but it's gonna be $3,000-4,000.
It
Yes,
is
sir.
a lot of money. And
It's a lot of
I
money.
purposely stayed off, campus to save some cheap, yeah.
Yeah, but it's still, it's
Yeah.
still 52 cents a mile.
I mean, when it was in Hershey, I went 3 out of the 4 years my last term because it wasn't a bad ride. It was close enough. And
But they also changed the rules last year to not allow virtual voting.
That's right.
So the only people who could vote was people actually standing in that room.
Right. And they told me that they changed it during COVID. And now that's why they changed it back to in-house voting.
But it forces Harmony to send 3 people.
Even out there, they could do it. Even out there, they could do the voting. So,
I
okay, I don't want
I have personally been disappointed with PSBA on many occasions. And I think we're getting to the point, if we don't see some more advocacy, seriously, they pay themselves big salaries, they create a lot of jobs. I can't, I know they do the standard thing and they write these rules. But, that's not hard to do. Nor is it hard to organize meetings. They sent a fella in here, took a lot of our time asking, I don't even remember what the guy was talking about. and they offer classes, which they should do like every other organization. But it does seem to me that we've heard nothing from them that I know of about our lawsuit. And then the federal government has been sued by certain districts for trying to collapse the Department of Education. I look at that doggone thing they send out every day.
Yeah.
Where are they exactly? Where are they exactly? And they certainly haven't been at all successful on cyber reform. So, I mean, maybe this much. So I know you've been pleased to
Trying.
be part of that, but I do think that it's about time some of these boards stand up and say, if you don't start cooperating with your membership, we can boycott you.
Yeah, okay. Do we use them for policy?
We do. They're
That's what I
very-
thought. We do use them
That's-
for
That's the
policy,
one thing they're
right?
very helpful
I mean,
with
that's
is
pretty
the-
invaluable there.
But we're paying them a lot of money to do what they, with their mission.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, we can solve
That
that.
can
We
be
can solve that
something.
problem a different way if we had to, but yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, but Sally, you know, in my opinion, they are, other than the policy stuff and the annual convention, which they do a nice job of, they provide us no services we can use. And I've had discussions with them on even something as simple as the training. Okay, the board training, the board member training. And, you know, in most cases, where you are required to do, you know, have a certain level of training, most industries will allow you to get those credits through a number of different ways. And especially for returning board members to sit there and listen to an abbreviated version of the initial training is a waste of time.
Yeah, I agree with all this, and I appreciate the input. We'll work on that.
Okay, I'd like
And
to, I'd like
also-
to motion on 6-2 that we nominate Sally.
Yeah, that's what I'm gonna say. Let's return to the
Yeah.
motion. There is a
Second.
motion out on the table.
Second.
It's been seconded. Okay, thank you. All those in favor?
Aye. Okay.
Opposed?
I'd also
Okay.
like to make a motion on 6-1 that the current schedule is maintained with the middle Monday being a flex day for the committees.
Right, and I think you pretty much outlined that nicely in your email today. I don't know if everybody got to read the email. What other input do any of you have about changing it?
I'll second it.
Second,
Then discussion.
oh, yeah, okay, sorry. Good, thanks, Walter.
Okay.
Okay, so what other input do you have about that?
Well, I just have a question. This is committee organization and days. Is this those who are on the committee and the dates, or is this
No.
I
just the
think
dates?
this
Just
is-
the dates.
Just the dates.
The committee's appointed by
days.
the president.
Right, and Rob sent us what we're due now and the chart of what the proposal is.
Yeah, we came up with a solution. Some of you had expressed a desire for fewer meetings. We said with the change we made this year, if we took the current buildings and grounds, which sits between the two voting meetings, and we stacked that with audit and finance, and we took policy and personnel, stacked it with academic and extracurricular, we would have to do a better job making the plate a little less full in those meetings. But we believe we could do that if the board desired. If you like the way it is now, do that. If you want to go back to every Monday, do that. We just wanted to give you options.
My concern about not necessarily, I mean, this, if you ran for office and you got elected or you got appointed, whatever it is that you did run, you signed up for a lot of work.
Sure did.
And you've got 9 people that you're coping with, trying to move forward in a sensible fashion. This board will never be perfect, never.
No board is.
No board ever was and never,
Right.
never will be, because since all of us are non-sinners, it's almost ridiculous, but, we have to be prepared to do the work that it takes. This is a $60 million organization. And we've been pretty steady and stable for the last few years, as long as I've been on the board. And you don't get there by trying to get so efficient that you don't have long enough meetings. And if you want to ask a lot of questions, fine. We're all going to have to sit here and listen to them, whether we like them or not, within reason. But, you know, if we run an extra log audit and finance meeting and somebody wants to get out the door to watch the game, too bad. You ran for this office. You knew you weren't going to get paid. You knew it was a lot of hours. And I don't know how you shorten running an organization to keep it afloat. And we've got real problems now. So I'm really kind of satisfied with the way we do it now, frankly.
I would like to propose that we change the third Monday to a flex day, that it doesn't have to be, right now on your chart, you have it as buildings and grounds. I don't think it needs to be buildings and grounds. I think it needs to be what needs to be talked about. So in the springtime, we're gonna be talking a lot about finance, and we can move finance into that slot, and maybe something else a little small.
That's a really good idea. And that's actually kind of how we were looking at. The only problem with that is that those of you who will be on that committee, just picking your calendar, your schedule. So if you're okay with flexing for that day when we have to call an audit and finance meeting instead of buildings and grounds, I mean, that'd be great for us.
So we actually did that last year.
It's kind of the process we have now. We have work sessions that are kind of unofficially assigned to academic and policy personnel or whatever it is. So we do have that flexibility if you want. It's just
I
trying to make
I
it
really
easier
like that
for.
flexibility because, you know, if academic is in here, if your academic committee is in here talking about a curriculum, that's not something we can do with a time stop. Okay. When they started doing the whole English curriculum in here, you know, I think we spent 2 hours talking about the dang novel. But that's what we're supposed to do.
Right.
Okay. So to try to squeeze that in front of a meeting and get our executive session an hour late and then get the public meeting an hour and a half late, and we're here till 11:30. That's really crazy. Okay, because that information that we get at those committee meetings on that kind of subject are really critical. And we're going to have some really tough discussions in finance this spring.
Right.
So
Any other input?
Yeah, so my question is, like, you know, I come to the boards that I'm on, the subcommittees that I'm on, but I see in a lot of instances, people come to like every single meeting.
That's right.
I mean,
you're not what you're missing.
no comment to that. But I mean, that's the way it's supposed to be, right? We don't necessarily have to go to all these meetings.
That's the whole point of the committee system. Is
That's
divvying
what
up
the
work.
committees are set up
Because
for.
I think
Correct.
some of the times what's extended in the meetings is like, you know, you have a group of 9 people, that's 9 different thoughts come to every single meeting.
Yeah.
And it kind of lengthens it out. And then we go to the board meeting, we have that conversation again,
Right.
and we lengthen it out.
True.
And so I just think they're, you know, I go to the ones on the side.
But
You know.
And that's great. Okay.
Thank you.
But the cool thing with the committee is that when Julie and her finance committee says something, okay, I tend to believe it. Okay, and I don't have to rehash that. So, and I hope I get the same response in buildings and grounds, but there's always questions. And certainly the way we run it is that you've invited all the meetings. Okay, we don't throw you out when you're here, but you don't have to come to the ones that you're committed to come to.
Yeah, but I'm just saying, like, well, if all 9 people are here, like in Julia's, you know, in finance, we're having a discussion, and then we come to the school board meeting and we have a discussion, right? I mean, when we leave that committee meeting, we should be feeling good about where we're at. We shouldn't need to have another discussion.
Well, but that's certainly the way that I run it. The way you run it, is you ask the committee members if you're going to make a recommendation of the board.
True, that's how most committees work, but I think, Chris, clarify if I'm wrong. I think the point he's making is it could be a lot more simplified if only the people that are supposed to be in the committee meetings are there.
Yeah, I think,
Because because when we have the whole board here, we're gonna have a discussion, then we end up during the regular board meetings having the same discussion.
why do we pick subcommittees if we go to every
Well,
single
and
meeting?
that's
There you
why,
go.
that's why, I mean, I like seeing the committee meetings doing the 2 the same days as our board meetings, because we have to be here for the board meetings. Why not have the committee meetings on those 2? And yeah, we may be here for 3-4 hours, but you know what? I'd rather be here 2 Mondays than, I mean, look at the summertime with coaching and all that. I mean, it's easier. That one extra Monday is a big help. If you only have to be here 2 out of 4, 2 out of 5 Mondays.
Yeah, I agree.
Though, Sally, you know, the concern is once you get past 2.5 hours as far as a meeting goes, the effectiveness falls off dramatically, and or the tolerance falls off as well. I've sat through some of those meetings that went till 11:30 at night, and you know, they started at 7 or 7:30 earlier, and that can be very brutal. So that would be my one caution is if we try to stack too much on top of one meeting night, everybody gets crankier when it gets close to bedtime.
True,
We
true.
also-
But I think
We also have a problem of the meetings bleeding over.
No, that's the truth.
And I think it's impolite for us to start a public meeting later,
No, I agree.
But we do it.
We're pushing.
do
it
for
off
sure.
the current format. So,
And it really can't be helped sometimes.
yeah,
Yeah.
but at the same time, if we try to do too much in front of that meeting, we're gonna have to cut off the English teachers and say, well, okay, and we're done.
Right. Well, that was honestly something that I had to adjust to because I'm at the other board that I was at, that I participate on, it started at 7, no matter what. I mean, we would stop the conversation, and whether that was good or not, it was like, that has to be done. We start at 7 o'clock. If so-and-so's not back from the bathroom, we don't wait for that person. So that was a big adjustment when I started watching the board meetings and online, and I had to wait 40 minutes sometime before I got in. So that's something we really need to work on. And I think a lot of it has to do with talking too much. All of us, discussing it too long.
Well, right,
And-
but the meeting before that's executive session.
Yes,
And when these guys start talking.
yes,
about
I know
things
it's
that we have-
executive session because I used to say, what on earth were you guys doing in there?
Well,
When I wasn't on the board.
Yeah.
Can you explain talking too much?
Well, I think the board meeting should start when it's published that the board meeting should start.
I have also seen examples when every one of us, including you, have been the reason that we've started late, including me.
I'm not pointing the fingers at
No,
anyone.
no, I'm not trying to point fingers, but what does talking too much mean?
Well, I don't
So-
know. I'm
so-
not going to try to analyze that
So
right now.
Sally, though, to follow up on what Julie was asking, if we are in an executive session and if it is about something that's going to be voted on or something that's critical, do we just shut that conversation off?
Well, I'm hoping that I can move the executive sessions on faster. And I just think we should start the board meetings when we start.
And
when
I
we
think
should.
too, going back to what Chris said,
The hammer goes down.
I think if we have committee meetings, maybe those things that are on the agenda need to be discussed first at the committee meeting, since they're on the agenda. But I mean, we could always pick up a committee meeting after the regular board meeting then.
Yeah.
I mean, but as long as we cover the stuff that needs to be on the agenda that night, we can always then go to the regular meeting and after the regular meeting, continue on with the committee meeting.
That's
sounds
true.
like
That's
fun.
that's a very good point.
I don't like that idea.
Well, we can do that.
Wait, you're the
but-
one that just said about,
I don't like
we have to
that.
put in the hours, we got elected, so, I
Yeah,
mean,
but it's easier to have the deliberation before the meeting because there's often motions on the agenda.
I said
Yeah,
the
but we
motions have to be dealt with.
Well, sometimes you
Yeah.
can't do it.
Can I call a
Well, we'll
question?
see. Now, here's another thing I want you all to understand is I'm not going to sit up here and defend that I talked too much, that I was guilty of this, because I've never said I was perfect. So I don't want to take up part of my meeting defending myself. Okay. I think we really need to stay on track and have fingers pointing at me tonight. That's just not the way to operate. And
You want transparency.
now see, that's what I mean.
Yeah, but there's no
You
motion, I
can't
mean,
be
it's not a
attacking me.
motion on the
I
agenda.
made
Yes,
a
it
motion.
was. It was.
I made a
Second.
motion and it was second.
Right, but we're still
And that's what
talking
we're
about it.
about. And I'm calling the
I
question.
calls the
Okay,
question, now
great,
we have to
thank you.
stop, discussing it.
Good, thank you. And that's all it takes. Thanks, Tom. Okay. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Nay.
Motion carries.
Thank you. Oh, losing that.
What was that?
Closing the.
Yeah, I know. May I have a motion to adjourn this part of the meeting?
Second.
So moved.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, so. What time is it? This meeting's not started. Are we ready? Stand for pledge of allegiance. I pledge
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call vote, please.
Mr. Adams? Here. Eric Brochus? Here. Julia Markey Kukrow? Mr. Harley? Here. Dr. McCombie,
Here.
Mr. Muscatello,
Here.
Mr. Steve,
Here.
Mr. Schroeder,
Here.
Mrs. Thomas.
Here.
Okay, so welcome to the people who hung in there and are still online. No public comment. None of the groups mentioned here, listed there are here to report. How about a superintendent's report? You're here.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you very much. The budget has passed, as you all know, and that kudos to the men and women who work very hard. Don't want to take anything away from the work they do. It's a very, very tough job they have in Harrisburg. We understand that, and we applaud them for the increases that they made to basic education and special education. They are much needed and very, very welcome. What it means to our district is the increase of about $313,000 on our budget, which is about $170,000 more than we budgeted, which is good news. So that's good news. There was a loss of approximately $40,000 in potential interest revenue that we didn't get because of the delay in passing the budget. So it cuts a little bit into that, but it is what it is at this point. The cyber reforms took a few steps in the right direction, not enough for me. I think that we can say that we're happy that they're going to hold the attendance as a important thing, and they're not going to let cyber schools become somewhere people can escape to, which is huge. So we applaud that. But there was no real change in the funding formula, which every superintendent in the Commonwealth believes there needs to be. So that fell on deaf ears. So the work is not done there. So that's the budget update. Congratulations to the students of ISD for the work on Turkeython this year, especially between East Pike Junior High and the Senior High. The ISD students raised over $7,000 by themselves for Turkeython, which is unbelievable. It's really, really good. So, and that doesn't even count the food that they collected for the food drives. So that's outstanding work. And I want to thank personally, notably, Jason Stubbe, Katie Woodrow, Dr. Jillian Fu, Lori Dadson, Carrie Kinter, and April Morelli, who were all instrumental in helping the students get to that goal, along with all the other faculty. These are the ones that kind of took the point. So thank you to all of them. I want to congratulate Mr. CJ Spatafor and the Spatafor family for being recognized as the outstanding philanthropist by the Association of Fundraising Professionals. Mr. Rohn and I got a chance to go down there and congratulate the family. It was a very nice event, and we were very proud to be a part of that. So, congratulations to the Spataforists. I also want to thank the faculty, administrators, and board members who celebrated the NAACP of Indiana County's 38th Freedom Fund Banquet. It was a fun evening that featured a lot of our students, and it was an honor to take part of it. So thank you all that participated. I want to congratulate the inaugural class of the inductees of ISD's first chapter of the Science National Honor Society. And I want to thank Sam Betta and Joy Dress and the rest of the science faculty at the senior high for the outstanding work they do. Sean and I got a chance to go to this, and it was unbelievable. We were sitting in the crowd listening to these students' resumes being read. And, you listen to this and it's like, we're like this gentleman here, did research on long-range wireless power transfer, which was recognized by the Naval Research Laboratory. You got a certificate of recognition from the Air Force Research Library, the certificate of recognition from the Institute of Electrical and Electronics Engineers, a certificate of excellence, and the Energy Award from Range Resources Corporation, and the Senior Engineering Award at PJAS Regionals. And that's just one student. And it goes on for pages and pages and pages. And Sean,
I look at Providence and I taught second grade.
yeah, like,
Really, I was so impressed.
like I felt,
hearing all that.
we haven't done anything with our lives. Is basically what we've
Well,
decided.
no, we taught second grade, so you taught social studies.
Yeah.
So I'll bring them up. So,
But anyway, the students were absolutely unbelievably impressive, and the work that those teachers do needs to be commended. And I want to call special attention to President Eva Nealon for the hard work forming the organization. She did a lot of the groundwork, and she should be applauded for that. The students they just blew us away. So it was a really, really fun event to go to. Thank you to the Leadership Club for inviting Tara, Sean, and I to be part of the Lip Dub project that was organized. It was such a nice way to highlight the incredible opportunities our district provides and the positive culture that's been built at that school. So kudos to all the students the faculty and staff who helped put that all together. I think it was a really, really nice project. And finally, we have from Representative Struzzi's office, this past June, the boys baseball team was recognized in a citation that was read on the House floor. And we received this for our records, and each of the boys will receive their own individual award that they'll get to have forever for their state championship run. So that was really, really special. We'd like to thank Representative Struzzi and Speaker McClinton for their, helping make that a reality for our student athletes. That's all.
That was fabulous news, all of that.
It is good stuff. A lot of good things happening.
Okay, are you finished then?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, let's hear from you, Sean.
Yeah, I'll make it quick. Last month, I presented some data information, and I sent this information to the board already, but I'll make it public. I'll reach out to Mr. Clunin as well. I'd like to give him some information in case he would like to write a story based on our success as a district across the county and across the state. And analyzing the data that we received, and I'm just going to summarize, based on the county, our building level score, which building level score takes into account the math, reading, ELA, and science achievement, as well as math, ELA, and science growth. And it also takes into account attendance and graduation. And then also there's a cushion there, I guess you want to call it, or a little bump for students or for school districts that have low socioeconomic status or high socioeconomic status. So there's additional points given based on your socioeconomic status. And saying all that, our district building level score on average of all the buildings is 77.05. We are the highest in Indiana County, with Homer Center being second at 74.45. And then if you average all the other districts together with Homer Center, we are about 8 points above the average of all the other districts. So when I see that as an educator, and I see that as a parent, and I see that as I'm not saying I'm gonna move, but if I was going to move, and I'm looking at school districts as an educator, I'm gonna look for that. And where do I want to move to? I want to move to Indiana Area School District. And with the possible influx of growth into our area, with the Homer Center redevelopment, we could see additional families move into our community based on that. Some people will just choose to live based on rent and so forth. But some families will look at how we're doing academically, and we're doing very well in the county. And across the state, we are doing extremely well. There are a total of 2,735 schools in the state. Individual school buildings, elementary up to junior high and high school. Our district ranks anywhere from the top 22% down to 36%. So the top third of the schools, all schools in the state, we are in there. With Horace Mann being ranked 610 out of 2,735 schools, and that is top 22% last year, which is very, very well done. And once again, looking at our scores for the last, before COVID, we've increased every year on our average across all of our buildings in our district. We've increased every single year. Before COVID, 73.8. And then the past year, 77.1 of average of all of our buildings. So it shows our systematic increase over the years.
Which, seems contrary because, anyone that's been here for that long knows that our achievement scores have dropped, but our growth scores are there. Our attendance scores are improving. So the whole formula that they use to calculate this and compare us to other buildings, we're actually a higher building score than we were on average before COVID, which shows it's a testament to the work the teachers are doing. Instruction matters, and
that's a big push of mine is engagement, as I've said before. And instruction is the key. I love instruction. I don't care what curriculum it is. If I'm a good instructor, I'm going to go in and I'm going to teach. If I'm a good person that can relate to kids, I'm going to teach. I'm going to motivate. So we can have all these fancy curriculums, whatever it is, but there's not one state curriculum out there that says this is the ideal Cadillac for you to run. So we as a district have to decide what version of that Cadillac we're going to adopt and utilize. And then only person that can drive the Cadillac are the teachers. They're the one teaching it. So it's up to them to really teach it appropriately and professionally. So that's why I'm in the classrooms as much as I am. I'm in the buildings as much as I am. So I want to see and evaluate and discuss the instruction that's occurring. So I'll reach out to Mr. Clunin, share this information with him if he wants to present it or write a report on it. He's more than welcome to. But I'm very impressed.
Yeah, and we are, and Sean and I talked too, there's still a lot of work to do, right? We're not gonna rest on our laurels. We still have a lot of growth that we can achieve. However, when you look at the comparison before COVID to after, that really struck me. Because sometimes we feel like we're running, on a hamster wheel and we're not getting anywhere, but we are. And that's a testament to your leadership and the curriculum decisions you've made. That's a testament to the leadership of our building principals and administrators, a testament to the teachers and the families. It's a good place to go to school, and there's a lot of opportunities here, and that's reflected in those scores. So, and I want to thank Sean for putting all those numbers together, because that's a lot of work. You did a good job.
Even looking at him earlier this evening, I was looking at different socioeconomic status of districts. And I looked at how we ranked in regards to 1%, and then how we ranked in a range of percentages. So real quick, just in looking at our buildings range from anywhere from 38% to 51.4% of free and reduced lunch or social economic status. So I looked at the range of the districts across the state from 35% to 55%. We're right in between there. We're 38 to 51. So I looked at all those schools. There's 1,062 schools fell in that range.
Say that again, please.
1,062 schools fell in the range of 35% to 55% free and reduced lunch or social low income.
Sean, may I have a second answer your question? It used to be, when I first came on the board, that it was the elementary schools that were running the highest numbers. That's not the case. In junior high, the girls dropped off on free and reduced.
Based on the data supplied by the state, Horace Mann, the highest was Ike at 35, East Pike at 32. Oh, I'm sorry, no, I misspoke. It's up here. East Pike at 49, Ben Franklin at 51, Ike at 50, Horace Mann at 38, junior high at 44, and senior high at 40.
That's a pretty big drop for the senior high. What do you attribute that to?
Students not reporting it. They still have to, parents still have to report it.
Okay.
In saying that, so out of all those rankings, Horace Mann, if I expand it out to 1,062 schools, Horace Mann with their building level score was the top 17% out of that group. So they're at 176 out of 1,062 schools. Ike was the lowest at 376, but they're still top 35% out of those 1,062 schools. So in looking at the socioeconomic status, we're still up there pretty good in comparison with districts like ours. So we're doing very well. That's it.
Okay, well, thanks. Tom, do you have anything for?
Thank you, Madam President. Nothing for public session. We'll have something after the meeting, executive session.
Correct, thank you. Okay, so let's go down to 3. May I have a motion for 3.1 and 3.2?
Second.
Discussion? Any changes in the minutes? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, motion carries. Now we're down to the board reports. Mr. Schroth, you have a ICTC.
Yeah, I have an ICTC meeting. We had a meeting on November the 18th. It was a relatively light meeting. The public meeting, we took care of a number of donations. We accepted a social emotional wellness grant from the IU for $3,500. Lowe's and Miss Becky Bruner donated some things for the student use. We did appoint Mr. Ken Wargo to the supplemental position for the National Association of Home Builders Student Club at a rate of $800. We approved 5 policies for first reading and 1 for second reading. And under the director's update, we received tonight update on the ICTC campus, a boiler system, and It's a Wonderful Life parade. Before I leave that, those of you who had a chance to see that float that the ICTC did, if you saw it in the parade, it was unbelievable. The carpentry instructor up there basically, Mike McDermott went to him and said, we want to do something unique in the parade. And he said, okay, I'll put something together. And, he comes back, 2 weeks, a month, whatever it was. And here's this replica of a steam engine. Okay. Bright blue in the ICTC colors. It was phenomenal to see. And we also denied the exemption request by Commonwealth Charter Academy regarding student 26006. That was the extent of the public meeting. I sent to all the board members in my report today an extensive items that were discussed in executive session. Please read those at your leisure. That's all I have, Sally.
Thank you. Okay, I did attend the Aaron IU meeting for November, and I did it online virtually. They hired a full-time family educator for $30,000. They hired staff to work on the 21st Century After School program. They hired a volunteer. We passed second reading of 17 policies. We passed first reading of 20 policies. The executive director has a right to cancel the December meeting unless something comes up, and then we would have a meeting. Other than that, our next meeting would be January 20th, 2026. The entire meeting lasted 15 minutes, and I have passes for everyone remember the passes for the event passes that they promised, so I'll pass out. These are for the board members. Sorry.
Dr. McCombie, did they cancel the line of credit?
Yes.
They didn't have to use any of it?
No, yes, but they still have to pay fees because they applied for it.
Oh.
Yeah. Okay, they're trying to get those waived. Thank you for asking a question. Okay, so the next is Mr. Adams with Outreach. Do you have anything for us?
No updates.
Okay. How about the Indiana Free Library, Ms. Thomas?
Yes, to piggyback off of Rob with the Spatafora family, the library, we actually nominated the family for the award. So we're excited, and they're appreciative of that because they deserve it. They help the library out numerous of times. We had a reorganization meeting. We elected new officers. We have a new VP, Dr. Frenzo. She's a Crum professor at IUP. We also have a new secretary, Mandy Yanosik. She is a reading specialist here in the district. And Carol Bush, our board secretary, she retired after 9 years. And so we're happy she's, she served the board and now she's ready to rest. And that's all a good time.
Mrs. Cunningham.
Oh, yes. Yeah. So Josie Cunningham is still the president. We reelected her. So
Great.
Yeah. That's it.
Okay, thank you. So let's see. So my PSBA report, there's not a lot going on right now because the budget was passed. So I did take a little webinar on clicks and comments, social media for school boards. It was very interesting. There were 46 people that took it. Now it was online. And what they did was they cited certain cases where board members got themselves in trouble for posting things on Facebook or other social media. One of the cases, and they gave us cases, like one of the ones was, I don't remember if it was this Tom or the other Tom, who told us about the Kegel case at Pencrest. So things like that. And I have the actual presentation, but I have to get permission from them to share it with everyone. So if there's a big need for that, I will seek that permission if any of you would like to look through that presentation. That's it for me. Now we're down to Mr. Adams again, Education Foundation.
Our next meeting is December 11th, so I don't have anything to provide to this meeting, but we'll have something in January.
Okay, thanks, Mike. We're gonna start with the committee reports, and I would like you, as Walter always did, to email me and tell me which committees you prefer to serve on, and you might want to change. But just for tonight, I'm going to lean on the people who were on those committees. So I would ask Doug if he would do the academic and extracurricular committee.
Well, we haven't had a meeting since our last
Correct.
board meeting, so if there's no opposition, I'd like to take 5.2 through 5.6 under on the agenda as stated.
Second.
Okay, discussion or question on any of those items?
I just have one question on the Apogee Suite subscription.
Right.
Mr. Heinrich, is there going to be overlap with all of the things that we're currently paying for and this, or have they agreed to sort of push back the?
Correct. There'll be overlap in the fact that we'll be able to set up the new system, but they won't be billing us for everything right away. So they're staggering their billing so that we can phase things out before we pay for the Apogee platform, which is very nice. I thought it was a really nice business model, and that's what, kind of sold some of us. But we had the whole team meeting on, and everybody seems to be supportive of this. So I think it was, we're excited about, the way that they plan to roll this out, so we think it's going to work.
Can you refresh my memory? When is the rollout?
It'll start immediately. They'll start as soon as you say yes, and we, start this day. We'll start working with our team to hopefully phase out our web page by the beginning of next school year, and a lot of our communication systems by next school year. And then it'll be complete over the next school year. We have a couple of things that we pay for both, so.
Thank you.
Over a 30-month period, though, it will get up to the full price.
Bob, did we ever do a cost benefit analysis? Trying to think
Of,
where you're gonna look.
I think we said what we can get, or what the savings would be by not doing it, using some other vendors for
Yeah.
pieces of it.
Yeah.
It sounds like once those contracts are up, but I see what you're saying. We still don't know that actual.
Weren't we looking for that?
A
I was trying to
difference.
replay my.
I remember we talked about it. I can't remember where it went from there.
yeah, I don't remember being asked to execute any cost benefit analysis and numbers other than, would this be what we preferred and could we offset the cost? Which we can offset the cost entirely if we get rid of the paper and pencil, not paper and pencil, but print newsletter that we send home, which is quite expensive, along with current mass notification, our current website, our current newsletter software.
He was thinking it balances out.
It does
Close.
balance out. In fact, if we actually come in slightly under,
Oh,
don't
okay.
tell the Apogee.
That's what I was looking for.
But more importantly, it streamlines the connection between all the various.
It does. And we actually had a meeting with our administrative team, the people that would be most directly related to rolling that out. And, they had some very important questions, and, they went back and forth a couple times with what is this going to look like? And at the end, every one of them is on board with this and thinks that this is the smart move. So it's not only, us saying that, it's the people that are in the trenches.
I'd like to comment on 5.5. That's the combat robotics course at the high school. This is 5 years late, and they got a lot of ground to make up to make it as rigorous as the course at the junior high. So I hope they hit the ground running, and I hope they get to that level real fast.
If I may, they really have. I was going to do a walkthrough the other day, and Mark Wren grabbed me and was like giddy about how many RPMs the weapon on the machine could do, and that the kids had wired it. And now they successfully wired it. Now they had to take the wire that they did and they had to shrink it to fit in the casing of the machine. So they're already doing upper level skills. He's got, 8 kids or so in there when I was in there working on stuff. So they're excited, and it seems to be picking up speed very quickly.
That's very good. I'm glad to hear that.
It's,
Because the program at the junior high, if you haven't been to any of those combats, you really should go.
It's fun.
It's unbelievable what those Tiny little kids are pulling off.
I
Yeah.
agree. I agree.
That's what leads to this kind of stuff. Right?
Yeah.
Well,
Exactly.
and now continuing at the high school level.
Yep.
I think it's phenomenal.
We're excited.
Those kids are gonna slingshot right into real serious life.
I'm happy you brought that to our attention. I would just like to see Mr. Renby giddy. I can't picture that.
He was. It was different for me too. He was giddy. That's the only word I can say.
Any other questions? Okay. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Quintina, will you please take the Policy and Personnel Committee?
Yes, we haven't had a meeting since last time. We have a few motions on the agenda. First, starting with 6.2, resignation of professional staff. It's a senior high BCIT teacher and an Eisenhower elementary teacher. So I'm going to take that separately.
Second.
Questions, discussion?
I'd like to thank Amanda and Brad. I know they both, Mr. Scott's been there, seems like forever. So I wish them both happy retirement at the end of the school year.
Yes, sir. Yeah, we appreciate them retiring at the end of the school year. We also want to thank them all. They're both outstanding teachers who go above and beyond. Yeah, if you need something done, they would never hesitate to volunteer and take on the extra work. So they'll be missed, but they've well-deserved retirement.
I would like to thank them for retiring at the end of the year. It certainly makes our job a lot easier to do a replacement as opposed to the middle of the semester on the third Thursday of the month. Once we get some of these retirements.
Yes, sir.
It was very kind of you.
Okay, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Okay.
Continue on.
6.3, long-term substitute assignments, that based on the recommendation of administration, the board employs Leanne Kent as a long-term elementary guidance substitute effective on or before January 21st, 2026 through the end of the 2025-2026 school year at a per diem rate of $250.41, be approved pending receipt of all required paperwork. And that based on the recommendation of administration, the board employs Tiana Brady as a long-term secondary biology substitute effective the second semester of the 2025-2026 school year at a per diem rate of $250.41, be approved pending receipt of all paperwork.
Second.
Discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Okay, last 6.4, extra due, extra pay assignments, that the board approves the following extra due, extra pay assignments for the 2025-2026 school year. Sam Sherborne, junior high dramatics musical director for $2,500. Jamie Edmonds, girls volleyball assistant coach, junior high, $2,322. Michael Bauer Sox boys lacrosse assistant coach, $1,381. Christopher Villa boys lacrosse assistant coach, $1,381. Sarah Tiemann, girls lacrosse assistant coach, $2,762. And Laura McGoffey, senior high cheerleading assistant coordinator for the competition, $1,737. That's it.
Second.
Questions or discussion? All those in favor? Oh, I'm sorry, Tom.
Why is the boys assistant, why are there two boys assistant coaches at half the cost of the girls assistant coach?
They're splitting the responsibility.
Okay, and how do we classify them?
Meaning,
These are new positions?
yes,
Okay, so forever and ever, the boys assistant lacrosse coach will be paid half of the girls.
no. It's one assistant coach, but they're both taking on the responsibility.
They decided.
They
And that was
made
their
that choice
decision.
between the two of them.
Right,
And that's great. I
Yeah.
thank them for that.
right.
Okay, I just don't, I want to make sure it's not precedent,
Yes,
And I understand what you're saying. Yeah,
and that's understood.
yes.
And we're okay with that.
and we all understand that.
Yeah, we've done that with other, sometimes drama positions where they split the responsibility and split the pay.
Thank you.
Okay, good. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Tom, would you please take building and grounds and transportation?
I'm gonna turn back to Jared. We did have a meeting. Maybe up, Jared.
Since our last,
We did. I did take a tour of the facility at the high school. And the service area was completed, including the door of the exterior. It was being occupied and utilized. I think they have 10 youngsters in the morning and the afternoon session, and they have 18 high school kids in the program, some of which are immigrants from other school districts.
That's nice.
The two science rooms one was completed. I suspect the other one's been completed by now. It was missing the furniture in the middle, and there were some minor modifications. So the rooms are being utilized. So that was good to see. I think we can wrap those two projects up. What else did we do, Jared?
the Eisenhower project's wrapping up. There's only a couple minor things that we're still doing that. The architect was here last Wednesday to do a final punch list and walk through. So we're making a lot of those final payments on the board agenda tonight. We talked about the closing up of the ESCO project. The Ben Franklin domestic hot water boiler is leaking and is not passing inspection. We're working on getting that replaced, but you'll see a motion on the agenda tonight to approve that. We had solar power discussion, which that project is out to RFP right now. We are doing a walkthrough with contractors, I think, next week. And those will be, we will have responses to the RFP back shortly after the new year, discuss those in January, and should have a board of motion at some point in February if the board so chooses to move forward with that.
Talk about the freezers at.
Yes, and East Pike, that project is complete. We're doing our final walkthrough on that tomorrow. And then we talked about the new possibility of which we've come up with some solutions for the leaking flue at Horace Mann. Temporary fixes there, so we don't have to replace that, with hopes of the building is no longer our responsibility in the near future. And then we're meeting on Friday with another company to give us another quote on the East Pike rec building over here for the replacement of the roof. So that was it.
That sounds right. Thank you. He does a really good job. Well, I forget everything.
That was covered in the meeting.
So we have a motion for additional lighting at the stadium to light the area beside the press box. We have a motion for hot water at Ben Franklin. Get that replaced. We have additional security work at Eisenhower. I believe that's the car doors in between the security doors between the divided sections.
This is actually to be able to swipe into the second set of doors in the main entranceway.
Okay. And then we have a new thing here, which is changing the software for the transportation.
It's not changing, it's just renewing it.
Okay, I'd like to make those motions all at once, 7.2 through 7.5 as a single motion.
Second.
Discussion, questions?
We've gone
sorry.
with the lighting, have we gotten everything back, Eric? I mean, I know you discussed last time. Is it with the lighting and the sound system? Is everything?
The sound system's not finished.
Okay.
We had talked to them about getting that finished up in the springtime, once the weather broke.
So that'll be ongoing.
Mm-hmm.
Make sure that stays on the agenda, just to keep it. Up it all.
I don't think Eric's gonna forget about it.
Part of the sound system, I'm not saying it's certainly not complete, but we did get a lot of compliments. We hosted a PIAA football playoff game on Friday night with a huge crowd in attendance. And Mr. Rowan was saying how many people complimented us on the stadium, the lighting, the sound, everything. With it was Penn Cambria and
Avonworth.
Yes,
Avonworth's playing this weekend for the state championship.
so people were very impressed with our facility over there.
River Valley couldn't get workers for the game because it was a holiday weekend, so they asked us.
Oh, yeah, I heard that. Yeah.
brought a lot of people into the community. then.
Yep, that's awesome.
Okay.
That doesn't happen very often with football.
Like PIAA. It was good. It was a PIAA, not a, yeah.
Good.
Okay, that ends it. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. So now we go on to the Audit and Finance Committee. Would you like to do that, Julia?
Yes, thank you, sir. We didn't have a meeting, because of Thanksgiving, and there was nothing terribly pressing on the agenda. So I'll make motions. Although I want to separate out 8.2 because I have some questions on that. So I approve I move that we approve this.
Second.
Any discussion on the bills?
I have a couple of questions.
Okay.
So Jared, I like to look at your condensed summary report. I think it's a very helpful. The way you lay it out and state it on that form. So under the current budget, you have alternative ed program at about 562,000. Can you explain that item? It's line 1442, alternative ed. Now, which schools would that impose?
That would be, that's a lot of outside placements,
Okay.
for students who may be expelled, for students who,
So the one across, what's the one called?
Delphi.
Across
Delphi.
Delphi, yeah, okay. Is that the lion's share of that? I can't remember.
that and probably the budget line for River Rock and stuff that we also have at the junior high.
Yeah, because it's getting more and more. Okay, other support services on the regular bills paid, line 2910, 160,000. Where's that going?
That's our contribution to ARIN-IU that we're assessed every year.
And that's it.
It's usually around 159,000.
I noticed the school athletic budget. Do you have any idea what you're gonna do? Almost 2 million now. 1.2 million. I mean, do we have any idea, any projections, or at the next committee meeting, if we could talk about some projections for where we think that's gonna go next year? I think we need to start looking at that.
Yep.
Because I remember that's climbed a good bit. That's climbed a bit. Okay, now, the big question that I had was, I see we're paying out about close to $1 million right now in Eisenhower.
Yeah, those
And
are
that
the,
includes OR and all those others, K&K and whatnot.
it's the 3 final payments for 3 of the 4 general, or 3 of the 4 contractors at Eisenhower. So you're paying off the plumbers, the electricians, and JC Org. And that's a result of the architect being here last week to do their final walkthrough and signing off.
So they did sign off.
They did sign off on all the final payments. We received, I think, on Wednesday or maybe Friday. It was too late to get it into this board round, but the final pay applications for the mechanical Rennick Brothers. So we will be making those in the next week or 2 as well.
Wait, and what's that gonna be about? Do you think that's how?
It's about $170,000.
So including our contingency, where are we relative to budget then finally? If you think this is gonna be about the last of it, I'm not sure. I hope it is. Goodness.
It should be. I mean, there's a couple more things we need to pay off yet, including the architect, based on the agreement that we approved last meeting. We have a couple other things for Eisenhower, like window blinds, padding, stuff like that, maybe around $100,000 left, but
Stormwater connection.
the stormwater bill, I would estimate with what we have left at this point and those couple bills remaining, we'll probably have somewhere around $350,000 left
Well, I
from the
wanna
bond
thank you.
proceeds.
Yeah, I want to thank you.
So,
We did it.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
That was-
I mean, I don't want to tempt fate, but it's looking pretty good right
Yep.
now. Okay, good. All righty, that's all I wanted to ask.
Yeah, Jared, thank you for the job.
That's
you do.
okay.
We
I mean,
are-
he's just
in this
amazing.
district, we are so fortunate to have you leading the charge. You do such an amazing job.
Yeah,
One of the
thank
best
you,
that I've
Chris.
ever
Thank
seen.
you.
and I think that, I mean, that's a testament to all the work that the board has been doing with this project. I mean, 3 years ago, we thought we were gonna have to take additional borrowing out just to pay for it, but with interest earnings and everything else, we've come out a little bit ahead without having to do the extra couple million borrowing, so. It's nice to wrap the
Yeah,
project out
absolutely.
finally.
Our interest earnings still aren't too bad, according to your last report. Still not too bad yet.
No, we're still earning 4% on a lot of things.
On
So
that, do you know offhand on that savings account? I'm trying to remember because it's
on our biggest savings
Yeah.
account, we are probably, I think it's around 3.8, 3.9.
still pretty decent.
Yeah.
Okay, good. Okay, that's all I have. Thank you. Okay.
Thank you.
And then I'll go on to the other motions.
Okay,
Do you
we
want
need
to vote on
to,
this one?
the 2 seconds the motion for the bills.
I think no. Walter did.
Okay,
Yeah,
thank you,
Walter
Walter.
did.
Okay. Any other discussion? Certainly not. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you.
Now, it gives me great pleasure to move that based on the recommendation of the administration, the board, excuse me, the board reappoints Dylan McCandless, King Coulter, and Graham LLP as solicitor for the Indiana Area School District according to the terms as submitted.
Second.
Discussion.
I'll just say one thing, since I haven't been on the board very long, my vote, I will be voting in the affirmative today, but it'll be based solely on Mr. Brett's, short tenure as interim president.
You're funny, Joe.
And I mean, I have no problem. I think they do a great job. I just think, I don't know when the last time we've done an RFP, just so we're doing our due diligence and making sure we're in a financial crisis, just to show the community that we're paying attention to everything. So, I mean, they do a great job, but it's always good to say they're also the lowest.
No, it's not.
I don't know.
But they're doing a great job.
Attorneys, you want the great
I
job.
think we just keep charging.
I understand, but just to get an RFP, we don't have to choose the lowest, but at least we go out there and we're doing our
I don't
due
want to waste
diligence.
the time, and I don't want to waste the professional's time. I disagree. You make that as a motion. we go against it.
I didn't make.
Well, the motion.
Yeah.
I mean, that was my comment.
Right, that was just a comment in the discussion. Any other questions or discussion? Okay. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Madam
Motion
President, if you
carries.
don't mind, just on behalf of the firm, second time I've had the privilege of being here. It truly is a privilege to work for the school district. You as board members commit so much time and energy to fulfilling your elected positions, but we have a fiduciary obligation, but it's more than that for the firm, and we do truly appreciate the opportunity to work for you. It's a wonderful school district, it's a wonderful board, wonderful community. So thank you very much for letting us stay on for another year.
And we appreciate those
Thank
comments
you.
for sure. Oh, those were others. Okay. Are you finished?
No,
No, that was 8.3.
yes, okay.
Okay.
Do you want me to go on to 8.4?
Well, yeah, just continue. That's fine.
Anybody have an objection? Okay. Here's a good one. I move that Jared Cronauer, business manager, be we have a vote now, be reappointed for a one-year term as the delegate to the Indiana County Tax Collection Committee, and Nicole Decker, assistant
Second.
business manager, for a one-year term. One-year
Only
term.
1 year term.
Oh, 1 year
Yeah,
term.
I think we should get an RFP on this.
Disposal of elementary instruments.
Okay.
But you.
Are you still-
I was gonna do 8.3 and 8.4 together.
Great.
You
So
have one more on
that's-
the
so-
back, Julia,
Okay.
8.5.
Yeah, I know.
8.6.
Okay, do you want me to?
I still second it.
Yeah, good. Okay.
Well, no, I want to do 8.6 separately. Okay, so 8.3 and 8.4, I guess we could vote on it. There's no discussion.
Well, we did
8.3.
We're on
4 and 8.5.
8.4. Right now, we're on 8.4. But if
Okay.
you want to lump them together, I don't think anybody would object.
8.4 and 8.5.
8.5.
8.4 and
No,
8.5.
I don't object to it, but based on the recommendation of the administration, the board approves the disposal by online auction of the attached list of instruments with the funds earned being invested back into the music department.
Okay, thank you. Discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Okay, finally, budget transfers. This is always a big one. Jared, I've moved that the necessary budget transfers in connection with the 22-25 year-end audit be approved as submitted. Do you want to talk to us about that? Came out better than I thought.
Yeah, that was a motion. You seconded. Okay, discussion.
This is just a typical motion that we take every year just to kind of clean up the budget as we almost done with the audit. It's actually part of the audit cleanup. Just to move the budget around to clean up some of the areas that might be in a deficit position, to move money from places that have excess funds. In my opinion, it just has something to do, it just is part of the audit. It does not get reported to PDE. I would love to see this process go away because it's a very, not difficult, but a time consuming process to do it on our end. But it does need board approval because you originally set the budget back in June, so.
And, wait a minute.
Okay.
The
And
number is 160.
For the end of the year, we are about 160,000 over budget. So there is still a line that looks negative in the budget itself.
Not bad that we're talking. Again, thank you.
any other input, discussion, questions? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
That's it, thank you.
Thank you. Okay, we're down to the closing. Any discussion items that were on the agenda? There's nobody making public comment. There are conference reports that you can read. Treasurer's report, October 31st, 2025. Included. Notice of executive session, we're having that after. And the next board meeting is January 12th. So may I have someone,
And for the public's notice, there will be no motions taken out of executive session. In case anybody online.
oh, yes, nothing's happening.
Yes, there'll be
Exactly.
no further
We're not
motions.
returning to the meeting to vote on things. Exactly. Thank you so much for that.
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? We will move into executive session.
Thank you, Randy.